Every week right now, there's some new headline that's coming in. Some layoff, some new AI model that's going to replace the work that three people used to do. And especially if you're in tech, there's that constant level of anxiety that keeps going on in the back of your mind. Am I next? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about three things that start changing when you start thinking about financial freedom. And it's just not for people who want to retire early, but also for people who want to work in corporate for a very long time. Number one, it gives you the confidence to actually speak up at work. Number two, it gives you the freedom to actually say no. Number three, it gives you a freedom of choice, even you don't know what you really want to do next. Let's get into it. If you think this AI stuff is just a temporary thing that's affecting entry-level jobs, then data says otherwise. Your research looked at this data a couple of years back, and it seems the high-paying jobs, like especially like in tech, data analytics, which have the most exposure to be impacted by AI. Now, this isn't some old story where, factories are getting replaced by automations. This time it's real desk jobs. Here's the thing though, this isn't something that's happening for the first time. Similar thing would have happened in 2001, in 2008 financial crisis, and even in COVID, I was also working that time. Like the same level of anxiety used to happen. AI is just the current version that the things are shifting and nobody knows what's going to happen next. And every time this happens, I see two kinds of people usually. One person working for 8-10 years, earning good money, but at the same time, spending everything. Lifestyle just kept creeping up with their income. These are the people who are genuinely scared right now because of the pressure of mortgage, family, aging parents, children. Now they have to tolerate everything that's coming in their work. They really don't have a choice. Now the second person who's been working just as long, but quietly saving up and building wealth. They're not sleeping badly right now. Not because they think they're untouchable, but because they know, like, even if the worst happens, the math works out in their favor. And look, savings right now isn't equally easy for everyone, right? There are rent, there are groceries, family responsibilities, loans, and everyone has different circumstances. But what I really want to focus is that moving in the right direction is what actually matters. That said, for a lot of us, it isn't just about circumstances too. Savings is not income minus spend. Savings is actually income minus your ego. Ego to spend on things that truly don't give you happiness, but just for the sake of getting validation from the wrong people. Now, this isn't a video of how to actually save, not the video about how to calculate fire number or budgeting or saving. It's more about why this actually matters. What are the shifts that start happening even when you start moving in the direction of financial freedom? Let's talk about pillar number one, the confidence to speak up. Let me start with something personal. A lot of us grew up in a middle class family where there was specific set of rules, right? Don't talk back to your elders, don't speak up, don't ask too many questions. It wasn't said outright most of the time, but it was just the water we were swimming in. And that conditioning doesn't disappear when you enter into a corporate world, no matter wherever you're working right now. You become the person who says yes to all the unachievable deadlines. You don't ask clarifying questions because that would make you look difficult. In fact, that clarity would help you to perform your job better. There's a concept in organizational psychology called psychological safety, coined by a Harvard professor. I want to name her right, Amy Edmondson. Her research found out that the best performing teams are the ones where people are feeling safe to make mistakes and they're okay raising concerns early. What I've noticed in my own life that the safety just doesn't come from the team, right? It also comes from your financial footing. It's really hard to say things at work when you really don't feel safe financially. You're more willing to say that I don't think so this timeline works, or why are we doing this project in this particular way? And you're not trying to be difficult when you're saying any of this. You're just not fearing for the fallout anymore. Ironically, the less desperate you are for the next paycheck, the more valuable you become at work. And to be clear, this isn't about becoming the yes man to all the work. It's in fact like it's the opposite of that. I don't feel the pressure to volunteer for stretch projects just to prove that I'm indispensable. The confidence goes to advocating for myself, not to take up more work. So all in all, this isn't about quitting anything. It is about how you show up at work every single day. Let's talk about pillar 2, the freedom to say no. Financial freedom gives you the ability to actually say no. When you don't have any buffer, no feels dangerous. No to an extra weekend work, no to a manager who's clearly overstepping, no to a bad culture. And all of that feels like you're gambling with your life. And in a way, you actually are, because you don't have any backup. Now, here's something very important. Financial freedom isn't some magic number which you'll hit and the next day you'll just come out to be fearful and not stressed. Right? It's a gradual shift that will start happening when you just start thinking about being financially free and start working towards it. Even having 6 months of emergency fund or an year of emergency fund, you'll start seeing that your confidence of saying no to these kind of things will start building up. You really don't need that full magic number to start seeing this shift. And what financial cushion buys you is the ability to actually draw clear boundaries, to say no to the things without your hands actually trembling while saying it. It changes the entire dynamic of the relationship. You don't feel stuck anymore. You don't feel like as if like the company has all the leverage. You start feeling like it's more like a two-way relationship and you choose to be there. You are not trapped there. Okay, let's move to the third pillar, and this is the most personal to me. Freedom of choice. There's this narrative out there that everyone is supposed to have some deep, clear passion. Like you're supposed to know what you really want to become or what you really want to do with your life when you're probably 20. I never had that. Genuinely, I didn't wake up one fine day to know what I really want to do with my life. And I think a lot of people have the same confusion and they're just not saying it out loud, thinking that they're supposed to have it all figured out. Now, if you're somebody who's more risk averse, like I am, I really can't just quit my job, go in the mountains and try to find myself. Not when you have a family dependent upon you, like a young kid or aging parents dependent upon you. The financial pressure of walking away with something like this, you won't be able to even think clearly. You'll just be reacting out of panic, which is probably the opposite of what you want to do. This is why having a real number, a real sense of your savings, of your spending, changes everything. Once you have your numbers, not a ballpark number, but a number properly calculated, properly mapped out, money stop being the constant background noise in every decision that you make. And that buys you something very valuable: the ability to ask true, honest question to yourself. Do I really like my work? Am I just sleepwalking in life? Do I have some other interest that I want to pursue? Those are the questions that actually start coming in, which are, I feel, more important. Now, it doesn't mean you have to act on such thing right away, or maybe you don't act on it ever, but just the optionality to have that choice changes your day to day. You're actually choosing your path instead of thinking about what happens if I don't get my paycheck for the next month. So look, tech jobs, or probably all jobs right now, aren't guaranteed for life that it used to. That's just the reality we are sitting in right now. But instead of that reality sitting in the back of your mind, making you feel anxious, I think it is the right time and the right reason to start thinking more about financial freedom. Not because financial freedom means running away from work. For most people, including me, it's not about escaping anything. It's about buying back your voice at work, your ability to say no, your freedom to choose and have that optionality in life. If this gave you something to think about, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to document this entire journey of being financially free. It's not just going to be a real highlight in the end when I actually do so. I really hope so I survive the next reorg, and that's not because of the AI that's happening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.